With Tommy. This video is on your TNA Impact Wrestling spoilers for the next 3 weeks. As TNA is taping, will take this Thursday's show from the Impact Wrestling for this week on this past Monday, or yesterday, and a portion of the 15th at the on Monday night as well. And tonight's taping was also in. It didn't appear to be a marathon style taping, and the company will return to Orlando in 3 days for tapings for whichever. TNA wrestler Gunner joined Doug Mortman, and Dave LaGreca on Busted Open radio show, and you can hear Busted Open on Sirius XM 92 on the Sirius XM app. Also go to BustedOpenNation.com for all the details. It was to be exciting time for not just you, but for TNA as a whole, because there has been a shift in how the talent has been used. Do you like how talent is not being used in a different way? He comments by saying, absolutely, and you know that in pro wrestling, it's building around the younger guys. Initially, we're the one that is going to help take the company into the future. Kurt Angle and those guys won't be around forever, so for me to finally get the opportunity to show what I can do, them believing in me and believing in other guys as well. I mean, we are the future of the company and the future of the business. So you either get to carry the ball or you drop the ball, and if you drop the ball, you're obviously not going to be in that position. So I'm very confident in my ability to carry that ball for TNA. You mentioned that you wouldn't have resigned if you weren't confident in the direction that things are going. Is it safe to say that TNA is not going to drop the ball going forward? And he comments and said, I do agree, man. We can sit here and talk about all the computer, lawyers all day, but the fact is that it's been around for 11 or 12 years now for TNA, and I've been with them since 2009, and I think since day one, they've been the company that everybody talked bad about and talked about financial problems, but we're fine. We're continuing our ratings the way that we have been, and I'm confident in the company. Like I said, if I wasn't, then I wouldn't have resigned. I'm happy where I am, and I'm happy with the company and where it stands. Then he says there are a lot of people that are happy that Eric Young is now the champion because of how long he had been underutilized. Is Eric the right guy to be put as the TNA champion? Sure, yeah. And Eric Young is definitely a deserving individual. Personally, I love Eric to death. He's a great guy. He's worked his tail off since he's been in TNA. Not only that, but he does his own TV show now, so people know who he is, and maybe they're tuning in just because of that reason. A guy that people have always stood behind, I think, is a great thing. It's good for storylines. It's good for the fans. The fans want to see something different. Usually, TNA has always been a company to give them something different, from the six-sided ring to the X Division and all those other X Division matches. Storyline-wise, it just continues to be a great company with a great opportunity with Eric Young as the champion. Gunner, you had the Feast of Fire briefcase for a bit, but you didn't successfully cash in on it. With Eric Young becoming champion, do you feel like you should be getting your shot at the belt soon? Do you agree that you should be a future champion? I do agree. I'm not just saying that because you asked me that question, but I do agree because I've been around with TNA since 2009. I feel that I paid my dues when it comes to this company. They gave me the opportunity in Manchester, and obviously Jane Storm screwed me out of that opportunity. But in the future, with the Bound for Glory series kicking off after Slammiversary in June, it's something I'm pretty sure I'm going to be part of. But in the future, I don't know about this year, but eventually being a world champion is my goal. It's always been a goal since I started wanting to become a wrestler when I was 5, or even started training in 2000. With whoever it is, Eric Young or Magnus or anybody, I look forward to getting that opportunity once again. Since James Storm has turned heel, most of the fans that were behind him have started to gravitate towards you. So kudos to you because you have really won the hearts of the TNA fans. Yeah, I think so, and we can feel it. Even though I've been there for a while, it was really touchy when we did live events, especially when we did live events in Tennessee. But yeah, they really have. And as much as I hate James for bashing my dad in the head with a beer bottle and doing what he has done to me, I respect him as a performer and as an entertainer. As a man, not so much. He knows what he is doing in the ring, and he definitely has the people hating him right now with me being the babyface in the whole storyline. And I think I'm good enough babyface to make the storyline, and I'm just going out there really being myself. Other than I don't go around bashing my head on turnbuckles every day. I'm taking my real life scenario, me being in the Marine Corps, me wanting to work with the wounded warriors and stuff like that, and just carrying it over. I think people are gravitating towards that because they do respect, obviously, the military, but it's something. I've never demanded respect. I've always wanted to go out and earn it, and when I first came into TNA with a storyline about Garrett and Immortal, the crowd hated me. I feel like I'm finally earning their respect, and I'm not the guy they will do 50 or 60 different moves during a match. I'm being very basic. TNA crowds want to see a lot of stuff, but I feel like they are finally respecting who I am as a character, as a performer, and as a man. So that right there means a lot to me. Take us back when you decided to have your dad get involved in the program involving you and James Storm. Yeah, it was. It was a first of all. I have to my father involved in a program is great because he's the one who's really has supported me 100% through my whole career. He has always told me as a kid, you could do what you want to do if you never give up. And he's the one I grew up sitting on the couch watching wrestling. So, just to have him as a part of the storyline will be a part of what I do for a living and what I love obviously means a lot. Unfortunately, he got bashed in the head with a beer bottle, so that was not what we were planning to have done. I think you're right. The telling stories is what the fans really want to see. Even as a kid, I was amazed by the characters like the Warrior, Macho Man, and guys like that. But I was always into the storylines like really want to see. Even as a kid, I was amazed by the characters like I already did that. I was always into the storylines like the one with Jake the St. Roberts, Macho Man, and Miss Elizabeth. Oh, it was always amazing to me what helped build up into a blow-off match. I think TNA has really done that with me and James, which is great. We've been feuding with each other for close to 6 or 7 months now. At Sacrifice this past Sunday, we had the I Quit match with me and James, where I believe it's the blow-off match for us. So we're going to get in on it like we do. But the fans, I get so much feedback on Twitter, Facebook, and all of my social media sites, and how much they love it and how much time they put into it. They really appreciate what we do as performers. Main Event Radio with Bobby Roode, hosted by Ryan Ryder, interview conducted for websportsmedia.com. And here's the highlights. Looking back at his first world title run, things worked out for the best for myself. Becoming world champion, obviously, the disappointment was there at Bound for Glory. I was the first ever winner of the BFG series, going through that series and win it in the way that I did, being with Beer Money, winning the tag titles, and with James, and before with Eric Young in Team Canada. This was my first real shining moment as a singles competitor. To win the series was a huge deal. And then to walk into the main event of BFG against a competitor like Kurt Angle, it was a perfect story for me. Walking out with the title that night was very disappointing for me. Personally, looking back at it, the way it all went down, I think it actually helped me out. It lit a fire under me and made me want the world title even more. In the end, I won the world title. I held it longer than anybody else in the history of the company. Held it longer than anybody else, something that I'm proud of. Those were the great matches with Austin Aries, and we had a really good chemistry together. Looking back at those series of matches had together made me feel really proud. And we had tag titles together, which was awesome. The ultimate goal in the business as a wrestler is to be the world champion. From day one, to be the number one guy, to be the champion has been my number one focus. My sights are set on Eric Young, presently, or whoever has the world title. Maybe Magnus after Sunday, this past Sunday. These interviews was done before the Sacrifice pay-per-view. My goal is to once again be the world champion. Dawson Eric Young being the champion, I'm happy for it. We're two guys who came up the same way, growing up in Canada with the dream of being a wrestler and a world champion. He's a TNA original. We were tag champions together. There's a lot of history between the two of us. He's been in the business long enough, and he saw the way that I carried the title and sees there's a bullseye on his back. When the time comes to doing business, I'm going to do what I have to do. I know what it takes to get it, to win it, to hold it, to keep it. That eagerness to carry the world championship again and have that responsibility again, that was something I thrived on and something I missed. I will take that opportunity and make the best of it when it comes again. Wrestling Kurt Angle, he comments on. Kurt is my personal opinion and the best there's ever been. He can go out there in his entire career entertain masses by professional wrestling. The way he handles himself in the ring, his character, there's no doubt that he is the best there's ever been in this business. For me to have been able to go out there with Kurt and have to produce the matches that we did, to have fans talk about our matches and some of the best matches they've seen. As the match of the year, it meant a lot to me, something I'm proud of. Unfortunately, with Kurt's injury, we had to cut the program short. Hopefully, down the road, we can get up to meet again and do something very special. Beer money, and would they ever reform? That he comments on. In my personal opinion, beer money is probably the most recognizable, most over act in the TNA that has been able to produce from the ground up. You have two original guys, two guys who went out there as beer money. We had the tag titles longer than anybody in the history of the company. It's something special. This week on Impact, we came back for one night only. We had a common goal to soften up our opponents before their matches, before the pay-per-view. Bully Ray and Gunner. In the wrestling business, you never say never. We're down the road, but right now, Bobby Roode's goal is to put Bully through a table and then go on to become World Heavyweight Champion again. I'm sure that James Storm feels the same way, and he has the same goal to become Heavyweight Champion. Down the road, if the time is right and we both feel it's right, maybe beer money will come alive again. Any comments on AJ Styles and Sting's departure? It's unfortunate at the end of the day. This is a business. Not everybody is going to be happy with people going their separate ways. It's the wrestling business, and we're seeing it happen a million times. Unfortunately, AJ was a TNA original and was the face of our company for a very long time. That departure bothers me the most. I had a great relationship with AJ. We were friends. We were part of Fortune together, and we had some great matches. I understand where AJ's coming from, and it's all business. I wish him nothing but the best. Sting was a great guy to have in our locker room. He's a veteran leader, a guy that you can go and talk to, a guy who I had some memorable matches, and a guy who mentored me a lot and taught me a lot in the ring. He's an icon. His name will live forever in this business, and I wish him nothing but the best of luck. At the end of the day, this is a business, and you've got to do what you can for yourself. Comments on future stars? Our company is looking really strong for the future. Ethan Carter has a hell of a career in front of him. He's young. He's got a lot to learn. His eyes and his ears are always open, always asking for advice. He's handling himself better every week. Down the road, he will be a main event guy and a possible champion. Gunner's the same thing. He's got a look, a demeanor about him that is world champion material. The Wolves' wrestling ability speaks for themselves. They're a great tag team and great individual wrestlers as well. The future looks very bright. And he comments about what happened to his classic weapon, the hockey stick. If it calls for it, I'm not afraid to pull it out. Here's a funny story. Scott D'Amore, Coach D'Amore, introduced the hockey stick every match. I use it to wear a. I used to wear a hockey stick pad, a hockey pad, and we were going to use frozen hockey pucks and put it in my sleeve and hit people in the back of the head with clotheslines. That's another Canadian cliche, a hockey cliche, that we were going to use. Maybe I'll take out a hockey stick for my match against Bully at Sacrifice. Or maybe they'll make a table out of hockey sticks and I can put them through that. When will TNA return to Canada? Hopefully we can come back to Canada soon. I would love to get an opportunity to run TV in Montreal or in Toronto, even in Ottawa. Running 4 to 5 shows would be great. The guys love coming to Canada, the Quebec area especially. We didn't get there last year at all. Hopefully this summer or in the fall we can come back up to Canada and have a Montreal be one of our stops. As seen on TNA Sacrifice pay-per-view, knux is bringing a stable back with him to Impact Wrestling. Updated bio for knux on TNA's website reads like this. Debuting in TNA Impact Wrestling as a member of Aces and Eights, Outlaw Biker Gang, knux was one of the top enforcers for the group. With Aces and Eights now gone from TNA and the star on his own, knux is making a comeback, but first he had to return home to see his family. Okay, the group will be made up of knux, his sister Rebel, Crazy Steve, and the Freak, who will soon debut. No word on yet who will be playing the Freak, but Crazy Steve is a Canadian wrestler, Crazy Steve Scott, who competed in the local TNA Gut Check competition back in 2012. Rebel is rumored to be an independent women's wrestler called Justin Silver, but that's not confirmed yet. And here's some post-sacrifice reactions from the Wolves, BroMans and Gunner on their reactions from the pay-per-view. And I'll be posting those links by each of them. Okay. And after that, fans also said that the event paid extra $5 to $10 for normal price for tickets for the event for Sacrifice. Ringbellsonline.com is reporting that TNA is set to film one night only Knockdown on May 10th, 2014. TNA has begun contacting former TNA Knockouts and independent female wrestlers for the event. So this is going to be a Knockouts only event. AJ Styles recently appeared on live audio wrestling, and here are some of the highlights. Working for G1 Climax. G1 tournament is stuff you don't want to miss. It's the best talent coming together and putting one-on-one matches together. I'm expecting nothing but great things out of that. And stuff like that. Being in this tournament, that makes me feel like I'm being wanted, and people do want to see AJ Styles wrestle. For a second there, when I left TNA, I didn't seem like TNA wanted me very much. Going back to the Indies, New Japan especially, and Ring of Honor, it just goes to show that there's something I've got to prove, and I expect to do a lot of that in this tournament. Whether he can work with the Ring of Honor June pay-per-view or not, it doesn't look good. I would hate to be scheduled for a match and then have to have a fight to be delayed, and next thing you know, I'm not making it. I would assume when I'm over in Japan, it's a long flight and it's some quality matches. I want to be in top tip shape when I wrestle for New Japan and when I wrestle for Ring of Honor. And drawing more than some TNA house shows lately. I don't quite understand why that is, but almost every show I've been at has drawn that kind of number. I'm not saying it's me. I'm saying that the promoters know what they're doing. That's what's so crazy about this. I'm having so much fun, and I'm going, wow. For somebody to say that I wasn't worth the money, there's sure a lot of people showing up at these independent shows to see exactly what I do. It's so confusing to say the least, but I'm very excited about the fact that I'm able to work in front of all these people and I'm able to give them their money's worth. In a post on Facebook, Brooke Tessmacher revealed that why she was having her breast revisions. She wrote, commented on quoted saying, "I've got a ton of questions to why I decided to have a breast revision. There are several reasons to why. The most important complications are from my prior operation. I had capsular contracture on one side, on the other, and I had a ruptured implant. This is something that I've had for a very long time. I wasn't ready to put my wrestling career on hold to go through another surgery to have them corrected. I felt this was the perfect time for me to finally fix something that was awful for so long." Comments made after Sacrifice pay-per-view went off the air from Cowboy James Storm. X-rays on the back negative. Got some deep bruising though. War is what it is. Brutal. Hashtag sacrifice. Bully Ray commented on his Twitter at real bully 5150. Normally would be walking into the gym at this time, but just walked out of the hospital instead. One bruised rib, one fractured rib. And now for your spoilers for TNA taping from this past Monday in Orlando. Thank you to Ringside News for posting the following spoilers. Backstage segment with Eric Young and MVP, Gunner, Bobby Roode, Mr. Anderson, interruption. MVP lays out a deck of cards and tells them to pick a card. The ones with the highest cards get to face the winner of the lowest drawing cards. Anderson and Gunner get the lowest cards. Roode gets a higher card. Roode will face the winner of Anderson versus Gunner match. Winner of that match gets a world title shot tonight. Madness comes out and cuts a promo on wanting another title shot. Abyss runs in from the crowd and attacks him. Abyss goes for Janice, but Madness escapes. Gunner defeated Mr. Anderson. Jay Storr tried to interfere, to no luck. Bully Ray comes out with a table. He has Dixie written on it. Bully talks about sacrifice and threatens to put Dixie through a table. This got a good pop. Ethan Carter III and Rockstar Spud come out and announce a match against Kurt Angle for the following week. Tonight he will be doing a sparring session against Spud. Kurt Angle interrupts and says he will end EC3 streak next week. Bobby Roode then defeated Gunner to become the new number one contender. Dixie Carter comes out, surrounded by security. The guards bring in Ray's table. Dixie sits on top of it and cuts a promo on Bully, taunting him for getting put through a table at Sacrifice. Bully comes out, but security holds him back. The fans chanted for Dixie to get put through the table. All but a few guards leave, and Bully takes them out. He goes to powerbomb Dixie through a table, but MVP comes out and orders Ray to let go of Dixie. MVP bans Dixie and Bully from the building. Willow defeated James Storm by disqualification. Storm pushed the referee down. Storm grabbed a piece of glass, but Willow hit him with his umbrella. Mr. Anderson ran down and hit Mike check on Storm. Velvet Sky and Angelina Love come out and brag about Angelina's win at Sacrifice. Officials told them to wear something more appropriate tonight, but they have started stripping out of their long dresses. But stop and start insulting the fans. Angelina calls out Gail Kim. Gail comes in for a fight, but Velvet and Angelina Love leave, and they run into Brittany and Madison on the ramp. Well, Madison and Brittany strip Velvet and Angelina out of their dresses and send them running. The Wolves and Sonata defeat the BroMans and Gunner. Eric Young retained the world title over Bobby Roode. Another view from another dirt sheet from Monday's results via PW Mania. Taped on Monday night. Knux defeated Kazarian. Knux came out with his family, a bunch of carny characters. He had Rebel, the female from his video, the crazy clown with balloons, a large masked man, and two guys walking on stilts. Eric Young came out and said he's a champion who wrestles and will be defending the title every week. Bobby Roode comes out and wants a rematch from last week. Roode sucks up to Young and they shake on the match. Roode says if he loses, he'll never ask EY for another title shot again. Ethan Cutter III defeated Kurt Angle. Toward the end of the match, Angle went down on his knee, and the referee put up the X symbol to call for help. Angle waved the X off, but got caught by a spear from Ethan for the win. MVP comes out and says that Young versus Roode won't be happening. He says Young can't make his own matches. MVP says we'll have a blockbuster opponent for the Young at Slammiversary. Roode comes out and he's pissed off. They have words and Roode shoves MVP. They brawl until referees and security gets involved and breaks them up. Taped on Tuesday night, MVP comes out and brings Eric Young out. MVP comes over Young and introduces number one contender for the Slammiversary, but nobody comes out. MVP says, we will find out next week, but turns and lays out Young. MVP reveals himself as the new number one contender, and he will see Young at Slammiversary. Backstage segment with Magnus and a new guy named Bram. He's actually former NXT star Kenneth Cameron of the Ascension. Willow defeated Magnus by disqualification when Bram destroyed Willow. Bram defeated Willow beat Willow around ringside and handcuffed him to the ropes. Bram then beat Hardy with a piece of the turnbuckle. Velvet Sky and Angelina Love defeated Brittany and Madison Rayne in an elimination-style evening gown match. It came down to Madison and Angelina. Velvet distracted the referee with nothing but a towel on, allowing Angelina to get the win on Madison by stripping her. And the Wolves defeated BroMans in a ladder match with the TNA tag titles on the line. Zemo Allen tried to get involved, but they took him out also. May 8 spoilers as the results are separated now. MVP issued the Endure Challenge to Gunner, Mr. Anderson, and Bobby Roode after the cards were drawn. It was determined that Gunner would face Anderson, then the winner would face Roode, and the winner of the match would challenge Eric Young for the TNA title on Impact. Again, this is for May 8th. Spoiler. Match number 1, Gunner defeated Mr. Anderson when James Storm's interference backfired. Match number 2, Bobby Roode defeated Gunner. MVP barred Bully Ray and Dixie Carter from the Impact Zone after Bully fought through security guards with the goal of powerbombing her through a table. Match number 3, Willow defeated James Storm by disqualification when Storm shoved the referee. Match number 4, the Wolves and Sonata defeated BroMans and DJZ. Match number 5, Eric Young defeated Bobby Roode to retain the TNA title. And again, I believe, okay, for the next following week, Knux defeated Kazarian. Knux was accompanied by Rebel, a clown, and 2 men on stilts, and a masked muscle man. Eric Young promised to defend the title every week. He said that if the company didn't book him in a title match, he would make his own. Bobby Roode asked for a rematch, and Young eventually agreed. Ethan Carter defeated Kurt Angle. MVP later stated that the match would not happen, and the wrestlers do not book themselves. He teased the blockbuster announcement for Young's opponent at Slammiversary. Roode came out and ended up brawling with MVP. In match of Tape for Explosion, Gail Kim defeated Velvet Sky, and Austin Aries defeated Tiger Uno. Impact spoilers for the well, for whatever date this is, MVP came to the ring, called out Aaron Young to the ring to reveal his opponent for Slammiversary. MVP says he is going to introduce the number 1 contender for the TNA title and tells Eric Young to look towards the entrance, but attacks Eric Young and tells him he will see him at Slammiversary. Former NXT star Kenneth Cameron is introduced backstage as Bram. He seems to be affiliated with Magnus as the two speak about Magnus' upcoming match with Willow. Willow defeated Magnus with Bram by disqualification when Bram attacked Willow, then handcuffs Willow to the ropes and grabs a turnbuckle hook from under the ring and hits Willow with it. He tells Magnus that this is how you do things around here. Beautiful People defeated Madison Rayne and Brittany in an elimination evening gown match. First I've ever heard of this type of match. The Wolves defeated BroMans in in a TNA Tag Team Championship ladder match. The Indian saw DJZ come out and help his team. Then the Wolves grabbed him and did a double hip toss from the top of the two ladders on Robbie and Jesse, who were outside the ring. Huge spot, and the Wolves pulled down their titles for the win. May 15th, spoilers. Kazarian defeated Crazy Steve. So apparently, Kazarian has signed a new deal with Impact Wrestling. The menagerie came with him. Steve constantly fooled around during the match and was more entertained by doing such as diving onto a balloon. And he was disqualified when he pulled down the referee's pants. Eric Young came to the ring and cut a promo on MVP saying he turned his back on him. He said everyone wanted a change in TNA, and they thought anyone would be better than Dixie Cutter. He promised he would be fighting a champion, and still intended to do that. He says he doesn't want to wait until Slammiversary and wants to fight MVP right now. MVP then comes on the screen. He runs down Eric Young and reminds him that he is the one who gave Eric this opportunity. Willow then defeated Bram and Magnus in a handicap match. Bram attacked Willow from behind and went back to get a turnbuckle hook from underneath the ring. He shoved the turnbuckle hook at Magnus and told him to take it. Willow rolled up Magnus, and when he wasn't looking, Magnus and Bram began arguing after the match. James Storm defeated Mr. Anderson after smashing a beer bottle over his head. Eric Young found MVP, and the two began brawling backstage. Security separated the two, and MVP managed to get in a low blow. MVP again said that they will have their match later tonight. Gail Kim comes to the ring and calls out the beautiful people. Angelina came to the ring and said Gail was jealous of her championship win. And Velvet Sky attacked Gail Bell Ring and we have Gail Kim versus Velvet Sky. Gail Kim defeated Velvet Sky. Angelina nailed Gail Kim with a belt following the match. Sonata retains his X Division Championship match in a three-way dance against Zima Ion and Tiger Uno. Eric Young retained his title over MVP by disqualification. During the match, Kenny King ran out and hit his finisher on Eric Young. Brian Hebner ordered a disqualification, but MVP ordered the match to be restarted. Brian refused, and Kenny knocked out Brian Hebner. Bobby Lashley's music hits, and he runs in to apparently make the save, but motion towards MVP and Kenny King, but turned around and nails a spear on Eric Young. And they set up chairs, and Lashley powerbombed Young through the chairs. MVP is shown holding the title to end the show. And explosion spoilers. Angelina Love with Velvet Sky defeated Brittany. Thanks for viewing. Peace out, brothers and sisters. That's Bray Wyatt will say. Thanks for viewing. Peace out. God bless. See ya. Wouldn't want to be